I was singing a small role in Chicago, and the tenor had a rip in his pants or something, but it was just on the side. I shared dressers with him, but years later, and my dresser told this story. He wanted the pants fixed right then, and my dresser's going, you've got 30, 40 seconds, and you got to get back on stage. But he just wanted it fixed, and the dresser's going, there's just no way. And the guy kind of looks, grabs a flap of the part that had ripped, and just rips it wide open. So then he has to scramble and think, okay, who in the chorus is not wearing their costume right now and is sort of the same size as this guy? Runs up to the chorus dressing rooms, finds the guy's pants and just goes, okay, runs back down and changes the tenor's pants seconds before the tenor has to go back out on stage. Why? Why was that so important? No, I mean, never a dull moment.
This evening took place at the Paris Opera years before I was music director, I think in 1983 or 4. I was doing Tosca. Luciano Pavarotti was singing. I went down to the pit, started the performance, and when it was time for him to appear 3 minutes later, he didn't appear. The curtain went down. I went backstage to see what was going on, and somehow he didn't know that it was time to start the performance. More details another time. They'll be in my memoirs. But that wasn't the end of it. In the middle of the second act, when Mario Cavaradossi comes out of being tortured, and Luciano, who you know was a very big guy, came out, and Hildegard Behrens was singing Tosca, and there was this little, what they call a tabouret in France. It's a little time, like a stool. They both sat down on this stool together, and the stool collapsed. And of course, the audience went into hysteria. People still asked me about it, but some people said, you know, I was once at the Paris Opera, and this happened. And I said, really, you were there? And they said, yeah. Did you ever hear that story? I said, did I ever hear that story? Well, I just happened to be conducting it, that's all. However, nobody went on to tell that Luciano sang like a god that night and every night, as he always did. And that little mishap was forgotten about from a musical standpoint.
It wasn't her fault. It really wasn't her fault. But she was pregnant, and the poor girl had to come running from the other side of the stage. There was a cut that nobody told her about. And I was singing the rest of it, and she wasn't there, so I just kept going. And I was just like, if this aria starts and she's not here, I'm going to have to sing her aria. I'm ready. But no, she came, and she sang amazing. And I was like, girl, She was completely calm. That had been me running across the stage because I was not informed what was going on. And my aria was starting, and I'm just walking on stage. I would have been like, maestro, if you please. But she was so calm and collected. She taught me a lesson that day. And then we walked off stage, and we're backstage, and she had like a panic attack. She was like, oh my God, nobody told me there was a cut. What the hell? And I was like, nobody told you what happened. We just made this new decision. Oh my God. She was like, no one told me. Oh, she lost it. But on stage, I was like, honey, on stage, you were cool as a cucumber. There wasn't a drop of sweat anywhere. So she was like, no, I was so freaked out. I was like, I don't know how you did that because I was like 2 feet from her and I saw zero panic.